This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Transparency concerns. The Nova Scotia Auditor General says public reporting on the provincial health system needs improvement. Storm cleanup. Nova Scotians shovel out after another blast of winter. And students at this international boarding school in rural Nova Scotia learn the positives of being different.
Our latest storm departs, but the cold air isn't going anywhere. Very chilly over the next few days. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. Changes the Nova Scotia government made to its Need of Family Practice Registry in 2024 helped artificially lower the published total of people looking for a primary care provider. That is according to a new report from the province's Auditor General. As Michael Gorman tells us, it's just one of the issues Kim Adair is flagging about how the province reports on progress in the healthcare system.
Auditor General Kim Adair gives the government kudos for efforts to report on performance indicators in the healthcare system, but her latest report finds lots of room for improvement. Among other things, Adair says the health department quietly made a change in 2024 to remove people from the Need of Family Practice Registry if they'd been matched with a provider but had yet to have an appointment. Adair says last March that move reduced the list by almost 33,000 people.
We were surprised that they consider them attached. We don't consider them attached at that time.
She says her office does not consider someone on the pending list attached. That's because there are things a person must consider after they get a letter from a new provider ahead of an appointment.
Is the location of that clinic a fit for where you live, where you work, where your children go to school? And also, in some cases, the clinic may not be fully operational. It may not be open yet.
Other issues flagged in the report include using multiple websites to track performance and data that is sometimes incomplete or incorrect for things such as emergency department wait times. The NDP health critic says Adair's report shows the government is playing fast and loose when it comes to performance measurement.
This is, again, further illustrates the difference between the story the Tim Houston government wants us to believe and what Nova Scotians are experiencing every day.
Adair is also calling on the government to go beyond province-wide numbers and give regional and even facility breakdowns.
When it's all in one, it might mask what's happening in a health zone. So it's just improved transparency. It's unfortunate that they have disagreed with that recommendation.
The health department agreed with 9 of Adair's 12 recommendations. Michael Gorman, CBC News, Halifax.
It was another day of messy conditions and storm cleanup across the province. The slow-moving nor'easter dumped more snow last night and early this morning in Halifax, forcing many people to shovel out once again. Businesses were also shuttered and travel was impacted. The airport temporarily suspended flights. All public schools were also closed for a second day in a row. Meanwhile, in Cape Breton, much of the island was shut down today as the storm made its way through. Driving conditions were poor and many businesses also stayed closed. Kyle Moore has more on the cleanup efforts there.
No matter where you looked around the CBRM, the cleanup was on after a dumping of snow overnight blanketed much of the island.
It is quite a bit, yeah. Just get a little path going, have to do a bit at a time.
Cape Bretoners waited around most of Monday for snow to arrive, leaving many to an early morning workout.
Quite a bit. This here's the highest it is. It drifts probably 6-7 feet there. The cars were buried, but nothing you can do.
Schools and most businesses in the CBRM stayed closed. Whiteout conditions and poor visibility made it tricky to get around and hampered cleanup crews.
This snow was really light and so it's blowing around and a lot of times they're driving and everything's good, then all of a sudden they can't see anything. So it's more of a danger thing.
The focus for much of the morning was keeping the main roads clear. Many side streets remained buried, but Phelan says crews were making progress. The length of the storm also made things tricky.
We've been out and waiting for this to happen, and then the worst part of the storm hit, and our guys have already been out for 12 hours. So our operators are starting to get tired.
A brief break in the weather did allow one ferry to cross to Newfoundland and move some essential goods, but still hundreds of commercial units remain tied up in North Sydney and Port aux Basques because of weather conditions.
Particularly groceries, perishable products, propane, medical oxygen for the hospitals, those things that have a real urgency associated with it.
Still, there will be a long night ahead as crews continue to clean up. Kyle Moore, CBC News, Glace Bay.
And we've got Ryan in with first look at the forecast. And boy, yeah, another messy day, cold and blustery and lots of shoveling.
Lots of shoveling, that's right, from corner to corner across the province. And you know what? Looking at the snowfall totals map, really no big surprises, which is the good news. Temperatures, very, very chilly this evening. That's the one thing that's going to remain in place here over the next couple of days is these cold temps that are really not going anywhere. And as we look at the wind chill values, they're very chilly as well, minus double digits, minus teens. The winds have been a big factor. Even after the storm departs, those winds sustain near 20, gusting 30, 40, 50 kilometers per hour. So after the 20 to 40 centimeters of snow is done, the blowing and drifting continues to be an issue, especially in open and exposed areas. And as we look at the forecast again for tomorrow, we're still looking at these winds that are going to be gusting near 40 kilometers per hour. And yes, across Cape Breton, gusting 50 to 60 kilometers per hour. And so blowing and drifting will continue to be an issue there, even as we work our way throughout the day. Now, looking ahead, we are going to be watching a couple of flurries that are going to be in the mix through this evening. And back towards the southwest of the province, we're looking at the potential for some onshore flurries not only tonight, but into tomorrow as well. Tomorrow morning especially, that could drop another 2 to 5 centimeters locally, especially down towards Digby, Yarmouth, Shelburne counties, Annapolis County as well. Those flurries will wrap up as we work throughout the morning. That's the good news. Cold temps, though, as I said, Amy, remaining in place right through that 7-day forecast. We'll talk all about that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, lots to dive into. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, Halifax has tapped the brakes on changes for rideshare companies like Uber. Municipal staff had suggested that ride-hail drivers get the same license as taxi drivers, which cost $100 every 2 years. Drivers would also send their criminal record checks to Halifax rather than the ride-hail platform. Uber has strongly opposed the move, saying this would lead to fewer drivers and more expensive rides. On Tuesday, Regional Council passed Mayor Andy Fillmore's motion to pause those rules and gather more information. A working group of ride-hail companies, taxis, and municipal staff will meet to discuss oversight and the best way forward.
The responsibility of drivers, whether they be taxi drivers and their employers or rideshare drivers and their employers, is that they need to provide data that allows us to understand who's driving, what their safety record is, if they pose any risks and so forth. That will absolutely be part of what comes out of the working table, but it will do so in a way that doesn't place excessive burden on municipal staff.
Changes for the taxi industry moved ahead to final approval at a later meeting. They would allow taxi operators to suggest their own rates rather than council setting them once a year. The Department of Fisheries and Oceans has announced it's discontinuing a program designed to preserve Atlantic salmon. And that has some conservationists sounding the alarm. The CBC's Juliana Griot has the story.
Inner Bay of Fundy Atlantic salmon populations have been listed as endangered under the Species at Risk Act for more than 20 years. For decades, 2 facilities have been helping the fish survive, one in Mactaquac, New Brunswick, the other in Colebrook, Nova Scotia. The hatchery selectively produced eggs and released salmon into the wild. Nikki Marie Lloyd used to work at the Colebrook facility as an Indigenous liaison. With the announcement that the facilities will close, she worries the population will disappear.
This is a managed extinction of the Atlantic salmon, especially Inner Bay of Fundy Atlantic salmon, and it is being done by the government that is supposed to protect these species.
CBC spoke with people at 2 salmon conservation organizations, and they share similar concerns. Back in 2018, DFO did a population estimate report that found that fewer than 105 adult Inner Bay of Fundy Atlantic salmon return annually to the rivers they call home. And the fish that did make it back were almost entirely from the 2 biodiversity facilities. DFO declined an interview with CBC News, but in its statement said it will continue to meet obligations outlined in the Species at Risk Act. The department did not respond to questions about how many people work in the facilities, what will happen to their jobs, or provide a timeline for the closures. Juliana Grillo, CBC News, Halifax.
The death of endangered turtles is prompting one wildlife protection group to call for fixing the Canso Causeway and Canal, the link between Cape Breton and mainland Nova Scotia. The Canadian Sea Turtle Network says the Canso Strait lies along some leatherback turtles' natural migratory routes. The causeway structure is disrupting that passage. In internal emails obtained through access to information and privacy request, a DFO official said the structure does not meet the current requirements of the Fisheries Act. CBC spoke with two environmental law experts who agreed that while enforcement through penalties is unlikely, the next step could come from the DFO minister. CBC News asked DFO for an interview, but it declined. Well, you may want to check your freezer. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has expanded its recall of pizza pops over possible links to an E. coli outbreak. There are now 11 different varieties of pizza pops that have the best before dates of June 2026. A complete list of affected products is available on the agency's website. So far, there have been 23 cases of illness linked to recalls, with 5 people hospitalized. Provincial officials were in Cherrybrook today to launch African Heritage Month. There were musical performances, speeches, and an official proclamation launching African Heritage Month, which is February. It's a time to recognize the history, culture, and contributions of African Nova Scotians and people of African descent across the province. Officials also unveiled a poster with this year's theme, Strength in Unity.
Look at the world that we live in today, one thing is clear. We need to stand together and approach it together. So African Nova Scotians and people of African descent have shown this strength of togetherness for generations, through hardship, through hope, through faith, through culture, through family. This strength has really been a major factor in shaping the province that we live in today, and we thank you for that.
Officials say this year's theme also highlights the importance of intergenerational connection. An international boarding school in southwest Nova Scotia has attracted more and more students from all over the world since opening 9 years ago. Dozens of kids from different countries are living under one roof, learning a lot about different cultures and themselves. The CBC's Josh Hoffman has more.
Tucked away in the small community of Mill Village, kids from all over the world are attending the Davie International Boarding School. The school's student body is made up of youth from countries like China, Ukraine, France, Mexico, and many more. Being around people from completely different backgrounds is teaching the students valuable lessons.
It helps me learn that there's a lot more I need to learn about the world. So that coming here more and more helps me develop that sense that I don't know as much, so I can be ready to learn more.
The Davie School first opened in 2017 with 26 students. It has grown to 63 students who live together, walk to school together, and learn about each other's cultures. In addition to the Nova Scotia curriculum, Sahaja Yoga is integrated into students' education as they meditate at the start and end of the school day. One of the main rules is students are only allowed to be on their cell phones 1 day a week.
Has that been hard?
Yes.
It might be hard, but it isn't a deal breaker for a lot of the kids who knew what they were signing up for.
Because my older brother went here and he came back and he told me all these really fun stories, and this is something that I've never done before, and I was really excited to try something so different.
I've watched videos of this place and pictures, and they're really nice, and I really wanted to come here.
The school's founder says parents send their kids to this rural Nova Scotia school to get away from some of the pressures kids face today. She says the limited cell phone use and meditation allow the kids to live in the moment and build real connections with the people around them.
The pressures that their sons and daughters are experiencing are just a little bit too much, and they want them to come into this community where they know they can relax. Everyone knows that we start the day with this meditation. They know that they're not going to be feeling that pressure from social media because they don't have their phone all the time. And importantly, as we keep coming back to, it's an international community. So we're all sharing together, no matter where we're coming from.
No matter where they're coming from, all of the students seem to have a similar feeling about where the school is.
It's a beautiful place, and that's all I can say.
Josh Hoffman, CBC News, Mill Village.
Yes, the steep downward slope. Folks enjoying a snow day yet again. Ryan is up next with a full weather forecast.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
All right, Ryan is back with the full weather forecast. Okay, this sounds like the snow is pretty much over with for now.
Yeah.
The cold is not going anywhere.
No, the cold's not going anywhere. It is settling in right through the 7-day forecast. And yeah, we'll even sprinkle a little more snow in. We'll talk about that in a second. I attempted to show these snowfall graphics earlier, but obviously the weather graphics are not cooperating. So let's have a look at that totals map. So kind of no surprises here, just a lot of shoveling. 20 to 42 centimeters of snow across Nova Scotia. And you can see amounts did drop off as we worked our way up into New Brunswick and Western PEI. But yeah, a lot of snow. Now, I'm already hearing from folks on social media, I had way more than that in my driveway. Yes, I'm aware that some of these totals may not line up with exactly what is in your driveway, but a couple of things to keep in mind. When it's so light and fluffy like this, Lots of blowing and drifting. That makes it tough for our volunteers to stick rulers in the ground and get an accurate measurement. 2, the long duration events. So there was a lot of these were multiple day measurements. And so, yeah, obviously some ebbs and flows in here, but generally a solid shot for everybody. Now we've got a little bit more snow coming, as I said earlier, overnight into tomorrow morning, especially in through the southwest. A trace to a couple of centimeters, most likely. Could see some pockets in here, maybe as much as 5 centimeters. Annapolis County back into Digby and Yarmouth, and even Shelburne counties. Most of that likely here as we move into the overnight. Note the radar still showing some onshore flurries, and yes, we'll continue to see 2 to 5 centimeters tonight, northern Inverness, northern Victoria counties, and a couple more centimeters tomorrow as those onshore flurries and squalls continue there as well. This is the low that's going to be skirting just to our south overnight tonight in through tomorrow. That will throw those flurry chances into the mix for us. Then some high pressure, and we'll get our chances to take at least a little bit of a breath here. Note the cold air pretty much in place across the country, although Calgary up to 6, Vancouver at 9, and that storm that just rolled through here is obviously storming its way over Newfoundland right now. Tonight, temperatures -12 to about -16 for most. Northwest winds continue gusting to 50 for Cape Breton. And note those temperatures down towards Yarmouth, -8, a little bit warmer there with that onshore wind. And there are the flurries that are going to be moving in overnight tonight, in through tomorrow. Possibility of a snow squall in here as well. That wraps up pretty early on Wednesday, though still the possibility of an onshore flurry here in the southwest. And note, northern Inverness County, northern Victoria counties, those onshore flurries continue right throughout the day tomorrow and even into tomorrow night. Now, with the winds gusting to 40 kilometers per hour, temperature highs tomorrow -7 to -9. But when you factor in that wind, the wind chill value is going to be no doubt making it feel cooler. -15 to about -20 is what it feels like pretty much from start to finish throughout the day tomorrow. And even into Thursday morning, pretty much that similar feel. So make sure we're bundling up. Old Man Winter not going anywhere here in terms of the temperatures, but at least it will be quieter, especially Thursday with some sun and some cloud on the menu. Note this trough moving in from the north. That's for Friday, rolling its way southward into the region. That could spark up a few flurries as well, especially later Friday afternoon into Friday evening. So we're watching that. As I mentioned, the cold air in place, and I want to draw your attention to the cold air that is basically entrenched over Hudson Bay, diving southward, keeping the Great Lakes and us, in fact, cool as we move into the later parts of this week, and then watch into the Friday, Saturday time period. This colder air is going to dive all the way down as far south as Florida. Orlando could start below the freezing mark Sunday morning. Temperature highs there forecast to be near -3. Why do I mention that? Well, the cold air diving southward, warmer air wrapping up around the Gulf Stream. And so what do we have? Well, the possibility of another Sunday into Monday storm. I mention this only because it's already getting a lot of buzz, especially in the U.S. It is a long way out. Yes, lots of time for the track to change, but we talked about it last night, Amy. I thought we'd mention it again. Yes, the possibility is certainly there. Yet again, Sunday into Monday, but there's still time for things to change. Could track, could stay offshore, but it's the elephant in the room right now, so we got to keep mentioning it.
Maybe you can work some magic, Ryan.
Yeah, we'll try.
Okay, good.
All right.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
For more than 6 decades now, PEI's Amon Bernard has been stopping pucks. He is 87 now and rarely misses a chance to get out on the ice. His teammates say he is an inspiration. The CBC's Delaney Kelly has more.
Happy birthday to you, and many more!
Amon Bernard's teammates are inspired to see him still out on the ice at 87. How long have you been playing hockey?
Just asked me that question. 65 years plus. 1960, 59 to 60. Played in the old barn home there by the church. So that was 1960 to 59.
He says he plays for fun and exercise, but he still does his best to win.
In my mind, to stop the puck. That's all I gotta do.
His team members describe him as focused and quiet and say he almost never misses a game.
Small guy but mighty. He's worked hard all his life. He's turned 87 and he plays every week. And after he plays hockey, he goes to the woods and cuts pulp and firewood.
The younger players on the 55-plus team say they look up to Bernard for his dedication.
It's an inspiration to some of the younger ones. I mean, I'm 70, but it's an inspiration to say, geez, can you keep playing this? And how long can you keep playing? Well, when you see these guys in their 80s who keep playing and love it just as much as they did when they first came out, so it's great to see.
Bernard's family members are also inspired and proud of him.
It's unreal. I don't know where he gets the shape from. Everybody I talk to is like, he's still playing hockey.
Bernard says playing hockey has been good for both his physical and mental health, and he will be playing for as long as he can. Delaney Kelly, CBC News, Summerside.
Coming up, how the Halifax newsstand is using Mark Carney's Davos speech to start conversations in the community. The owner of Atlantic News in Halifax is hoping to spark a conversation with his customers. On the storefront door, he's posted Prime Minister Mark Carney's now viral speech from Davos. And I'm here with Chris Green, the owner of the shop. So what made you decide to put that on this door window?
Well, first of all, we're a newsstand.
Right.
And that is certainly newsworthy. A lot of people were talking about it, a lot of our customers. And our customers come in here and talk about the issues. So it seemed to me a very important speech, a seminal speech, so I wanted to put it up so that our customers knew about it. Most of them have seen it. A number of them have not. Even a number of them have asked us to print it out for them so they could read it at home.
Well, when you heard it, what struck you?
What struck me is finally a leader is standing up and calling it like it is. So I think that was certainly exhibiting leadership for not only the country but for the world. We have the orange-skinned one who is spinning in many different directions, and regardless of the political party, it needed to be said. It captured the moment. We have customers that are Grit supporters. We have customers that are conservatives and NDP, and it's posting it is not about supporting a particular party. It's just creating a discussion. This is a center of the community. People come in here and talk about what's happening, and particularly the last year, there's been a lot of discussion and holding the head and just wondering what's going on.
What do they say when they see it?
When they see it, they thank us for putting it up. To a person, there's agreement that it's a fantastic speech. Now from there are some that say, well, great words, but what are you going to do at home? But to a person, there's agreement that it needed to be said, it captured the moment. So there's not enough of that, courage, if you will, there's not enough of that these days.
What did you make of his comments about there being a new world order?
Well, I think he nailed it. After World War II, the United States was supporting international organizations that brought the world back together, whether it was the UN or NATO or rebuilding Europe, the Bretton Woods, the financial situation. And it seems in the last year, the orange-skinned one has one by one looked to dismantle that and bring the world back to a mercantilist situation where it's big powers fighting each other and small countries and middle countries having to jump in line. So Mr. Carney nailed that.
You're from California.
I am.
Right. So what is it like being in Nova Scotia, watching what's unfolding in the U.S. from afar?
It's difficult because my wife and my wife's a dual citizen. I have my PR and I'm about to take the test to become a citizen of Canada. It's difficult. You run the gamut of, it's similar to looking at a car accident on the side of the road. You look at it, oh, I don't want to look, but I have to look. There's sadness, there's anger. We talk to our friends and family every day. And I still believe that there's enough people in the country that stand for the right thing, certainly, but these are tough times. And people in the United States and people around the world need to stand up and speak the truth. And that's what Mr. Carney did. Not a perfect speech in terms of it was not a Churchillian we'll fight on the beaches, but it captured the moment. And it was much needed.
Now, you took over this shop about 2 years ago.
Yes.
Given we're in an internet age, what is it about, being able to come in and physically buy a magazine or a newspaper? Why do people do that?
Yeah. Well, I certainly have a dog in this fight, but it seems that more and more people want to hold things in their hands. Maybe this is a post-COVID situation. Also online, it's tough to have conversations where you're looking at somebody face to face and the give and take. Particularly in today's world, it seems that there aren't a lot of places or forums where people can have a difference of opinion and voice that, but in a way that pushes the conversation forward. That certainly happens in here. We have a number of newspaper subscribers and people come in, and it seems that more and more, particularly young people, are looking at magazines and saying, wow, look at that. So I feel that it's just where the world is and catching up with technology.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time. We really do appreciate it.
Sure.
Coming up, a judge in Minnesota orders the acting ICE director to appear in court as Trump shuffles leadership of the immigration crackdown. And after years of negotiations, India and the European Union have signed what they're calling the mother of all trade deals. Welcome back. The fallout from Mark Carney's provocative speech at the World Economic Forum isn't over yet. On Monday, one of Donald Trump's top aides suggested that the Prime Minister had aggressively walked back his remarks during a phone call with the President. But Carney says that's not true. Now the Conservative opposition is jumping on the disagreement. Ashley Burke reports.
The Prime Minister offering his side of the story, saying he stands by his speech in Davos no matter what the Trump administration says.
But to be absolutely clear, and I said this to the President, I meant what I said in Davos.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent went on Fox News last night saying Mark Carney recanted.
I was in the Oval with the President today. He spoke to Prime Minister Carney, who was very aggressively walking back some of the unfortunate remarks he made at Davos.
In Davos, Carney used his speech to call on middle powers to unite against big ones, using economic might to coerce.
Great powers have begun using economic integration as weapons. Tariffs as leverage.
Trump fired back in his own address.
Canada lives because of the United States. Remember that, Mark, the next time you make your statements.
Now the Prime Minister is facing questions about what he actually said to Trump yesterday about that speech.
So you didn't walk back your comments?
No.
Carney says he told Trump Canada was the first country to recognize the new direction of his trade policy and is responding positively to his moves.
I explained to him what we're doing, 12 new deals on 4 continents in 6 months. He was impressed. And what we intend to do going forward.
The Prime Minister needs to be a lot more forthright and forthcoming with what is going on.
The Conservatives' foreign affairs critic says he doesn't know who to believe, but it's been standard protocol for past governments to release readouts of calls between world leaders, and that didn't happen in this case.
We want to see a formal statement coming from the Prime Minister in the form of a readout to clarify the conversation that took place between the Prime Minister and the President.
Canadians first learned about this call on Fox News. Carney has long said that he's in constant communication with Trump, including over text message, and that's why his government is not releasing statements after every time they interact. But the opposition says those readouts after their calls should be happening. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
There seems to be a shift in tone and tactics by Donald Trump after outrage over a second fatal shooting during his immigration crackdown in Minnesota. The U.S. president says he'll now personally oversee a, quote, honest investigation into the death of the ICU nurse Alex Preddy. Trump has also put a new person in charge of ICE operations in Minneapolis.
Tom Homan, as you know, is in Minnesota now. He's meeting with the governor, and he's meeting with the mayor, I think, later. And I hear that's all going very well.
Trump's border czar Tom Homan replaces controversial commander Greg Bovino, who is reportedly leaving Minneapolis today along with some of his agents. Overnight, protesters surrounded the hotel where Bovino and other federal officers were believed to be staying. Minneapolis is relatively calmer now, but immigration agents remain active across the region. Israel top court is hearing a case to allow foreign journalists back into the Gaza Strip. The Israeli government banned media access following the Hamas attacks of October 7th, 2023. An information void filled by local reporters was with tragic results. More than 220 Palestinian journalists have died since the war began, including last week. Sasha Petrusik reports.
Gaza's been a very dangerous place for journalists for more than 2 years now, ever since the war started. And by that, I mean dangerous, especially for Palestinian journalists. We got a reminder of that again this week with the funeral of 3 journalists who were killed in an Israeli airstrike. They were out following an Egyptian relief organization, trying to shoot what they were doing, how they were helping Palestinians, when one of the photojournalists, sent up a drone. They were in a car at the time. Well, soon after that drone went up, witnesses say that car was hit and destroyed by an Israeli airstrike. Israel says it considered the drone a threat to its troops, and it said that the drone was somehow connected to Hamas, although it didn't provide any proof. Many of those who were at the funeral, journalists themselves, are saying that it's become a dangerous place to the point where they're afraid every time they go out to do something on any given day. Things have calmed down in Gaza since the ceasefire took effect. That was a little more than 3 months ago, but the conflict has not ended. One hopeful sign for many Palestinians is that later this week, the Rafah crossing between Gaza and Egypt is finally supposed to open. Israel has been reluctant to allow it to open, even though that's part of the ceasefire agreement with U.S. President Donald Trump. Israel's been saying that until all the hostages, all of those who are alive, as well as the bodies of those who are dead, were returned to Israel, that crossing would not be open. Well, last night, the last of those bodies was found and it was returned. It was a 24-year-old policeman who had been kidnapped, taken into Gaza, and died afterwards. That means now that here in Israel, many people are looking at that as some kind of an end to the war. Of course, it hasn't ended for Palestinians, but they're looking at this as a sign of optimism, that they're no longer trapped. Sasha Petrusik, CBC News, Jerusalem.
India and the European Union have signed a major trade deal after years of negotiations. The agreement will see both sides dramatically reduce tariffs on nearly all goods and double EU exports to India by 2032. This deal is being seen as an important political message that trade agreements are better than tariffs. The CBC's Salima Shivji has the details from Mumbai.
After a flurry of last-minute negotiations, and on the heels of an extravagant Republic Day ceremony highlighting the close ties between European leaders and India, this is how both sides are describing the landmark trade agreement between the two.
Mother of all deals के रूप में कर रहे हैं.
Delivered the mother of all deals. We are creating a market of 2 billion people. And this is the tale of two giants who choose partnership in a true win-win fashion.
Ursula von der Leyen also pointedly saying that cooperation is how to deal with global challenges. Global challenge number one economically, an unpredictable United States administration led by Donald Trump, testing long-standing alliances and imposing stiff tariffs on many countries and threatening more. This deal is meant to counter the pain of erratic U.S. trade policy. Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, is saying this is the largest free trade agreement his country has ever signed. It represents about 25% of the world's GDP, encompasses 2 billion people, and opens up India's tightly guarded market by slashing tariffs across the board on European wine, for one, as well as cars from European countries, which will only see a 10% duty instead of what was as high as 110%. The agreement is expected to double EU exports to India in the next 6 years. It will also be easier for Indian goods like textiles, gems, and jewelry to enter Europe with no tariffs on them. And the deal is promising easier access for Indian high-tech professionals to work in European countries. Now, negotiations on the trade agreement have dragged on for nearly 2 decades on and off, but the talks had more urgency over the last 6 months as Trump's tariffs were implemented, and both European countries and India's Modi government domestically were under pressure to find a way forward.
This is New Delhi's way of sending a message to its own supporters and also to the world at large, that this is how we are going to approach. We are going to diversify. We're not going to be dependent on one huge country, even if it is the most powerful country in the world.
The deal will go through an extensive legal vet before it comes into effect, likely in about a year. Salima Shivji, CBC News, Mumbai.
Survivors, politicians, and others observed International Holocaust Remembrance Day today, attending events around the world. Several dignitaries gave speeches at an event in Ottawa, including Mark Carney. The Prime Minister acknowledged the slaughter of 6 million Jews during the Second World War and paid tribute to survivors for their resilience.
You have lived through the most horrific chapter of human history. Yet, again and again, you have chosen to bring those darkest memories to light, so that what happened will not fade into silence, so that what happened will never happen again.
Carney also said the Canadian government was among those complicit in the Holocaust because of its silence, and he urged Canadians to remember the consequences of ignorance and hatred. Opposition leader Pierre Poilievre also spoke at the event, denouncing the recent rise in anti-Semitism. He urged Canadians to stand up for the rights of Canadian Jews to live safely and peacefully. With anti-Semitism on the rise in many parts of the world, concerns are growing about it spreading in schools. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson looks at what Canada's biggest school board is doing to address it.
At the headquarters of the Toronto District School Board, the biggest school board in the country, a bunch of grade 6 students got a very special opportunity on the International Holocaust Remembrance Day. They got a chance to meet the author of the book To Hope and Back, about the journey of St. Louis, a ship carrying European Jews that was turned away from a number of countries, including Canada. They also got a chance to meet the daughter and granddaughter of a woman who was on that ship. They got to see some of her personal belongings, all of this in hopes of forging a personal connection.
I really think it's an important way for kids to connect to history and to understand the message, which is, You know, you can't say it's not my problem. You can't say none is too many, which is what Canada said at the time.
I don't know how to describe it, but you kind of understand it more, and it feels a lot more like it actually happened.
A lack of awareness about what happened in the Holocaust was already a growing problem in Canada, especially among young people. But now that problem is compounded by rising anti-Semitism. Just earlier this month, a 14-year-old Toronto area boy was charged with disseminating anti-Semitic materials. A study commissioned by the federal government last summer about anti-Semitism in Ontario schools had some startling revelations. About 40% of respondents, that's Jewish students and their parents, said that they've been subjected to Holocaust denial, Nazi salutes, and statements that Holocaust was exaggerated or should have happened. These are all reasons why this teacher says it's so important for her students to attend events like this one.
I think one thing over my tenure of teaching, we're getting further and further away from these events, and yet they're closer and closer and closer to what's happening in the world.
All in hope that kids can develop an emotional connection to the Holocaust that can be a powerful antidote to anti-Semitic rhetoric online or in real life. Deanna Simonak-Johnson, CBC News, Toronto.
The price of gold and silver is skyrocketing. Nisha Patel looks at what's driving the rush to invest in precious metals and the impact it's having on businesses and consumers.
Gold and silver are on a record-breaking run as investors rush to snap up precious metals. Gold soared past $5,000 an ounce for the first time ever. The price has almost doubled over the past year. Silver crossed $100 an ounce. It's up more than 270% since last January.
You know, if you have an ounce of gold or a kilobar of gold, you have something physical that is widely considered to have intrinsic value.
That's why investors turn to gold when the economy is uncertain. And lately, the geopolitical shocks have come fast and furious. From U.S. tariffs upending global trade to intervention in Venezuela and threats against Greenland.
You know, in the New World Order, you want something that is not under the influence of governments. You know, I think precious metals do fit that bill.
Central bankers are moving away from the U.S. dollar and are buying more gold. So, too, are Chinese households looking for alternatives to investing in real estate. While some experts predict precious metal prices could rise even further, others warn that's not a guarantee.
If you are buying in at this point, you have to understand that many others have already done so, and so valuations are extremely high.
It's the latest change for Sue Henderson, who owns a small Toronto-based business selling custom gold and silver jewelry.
First there was COVID, then there was the tariffs, and then there was the rise of both gold and sterling silver. Not to mention the weather, it's been challenging.
She held off on raising prices last year in an attempt to attract customers. But now with the cost of her raw materials climbing, she has to adjust.
But the prices are so high, we can't ignore it. We will be raising most of our real gold prices in the next couple of weeks.
Because there's no telling when this gold rush could end. Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
Canada's main stock index edged slightly higher today, while U.S. markets were mixed. Here's a look at the numbers as we head to break.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
All right, on the upside, you've made the skiers, the snowmobilers, the snowshoers very happy.
There's a lot of folks who love winter.
That's true.
And haven't really been getting a fair shake over the last couple of years where, you know, it comes, it goes. Like, we're into true winter here.
This is deep snow.
Yeah, my neighbor was out shoveling snow this morning. Isn't this fantastic?
What did you say?
Yeah. Yeah, listen, it's great.
It is what it is, and you gotta
It is
make the
what it
most of
is,
it.
for sure. My kids were certainly jumping for joy this morning after another snow day. Have a look at our viewer picture of the day as we look at we're zooming in on Pictou County. This is a beautiful spot, Salt Springs, and a beautiful photo from Wendy.
That looks like a painting, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
Lovely.
Yes, some doves there and terrific stuff. Wendy, thank you so much for sharing. Ryan's picks at cbc.ca as we look at the outlook here. Couple of areas to watch over the next 24 hours. One, down into the southwest of the province. That's where we could see as much as a trace to 5 centimeters of snowfall. Western areas of the valley, more so Digby, Yarmouth, Shelburne, and into Queens County. That little wave will push through, and by the time we get to tomorrow morning, a little bit left on the ground. But for the most part, wrapping up, we'll see the chance for some isolated flurries lingering for tomorrow, primarily in the southwest of the province, but also northern Inverness County into northern Victoria counties. As much as 5 centimeters of accumulation there throughout the day tomorrow as well. And those winds are going to be steady for tomorrow, near 20, gusting 30 to 40. There's the snowfall outlook by the time we get to tomorrow evening. And there are those temperatures, -7 to -9. Do bundle up. Wind chill values well into the minus teens, approaching -20 for tomorrow morning. Pretty much a similar story for Thursday with that cold air in place. And a quick look at that 7-day. Flurries on tap late Friday, a quieter Saturday, and yeah, we're watching Sunday again.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay. Well, a Calgary homeowner got a sweet surprise recently. She says she went to her attic to investigate a cold wind blowing through her home, but instead found this decades-old wedding cake. The woman says she believes the cake is owned by the previous homeowner.
She attempted to reach out to their daughter, but has yet to hear back. For now, she plans on keeping the cake in the attic away from hungry eyes. Yeah, I wouldn't be eating
No
that.
thanks. All right, that is it for us tonight. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Good night.